G'day and welcome to A Down Under Yarn. I am your host Fiona, also known as Fifykins. If you find someone on the internet called Fifykins, it's probably me. This is the A Down Under Yarn podcast. It's episode number 55, all the fives. And I'm also the dyer behind Flair Fibres. So at the end of the podcast, I will have a bit of a shop update. It's Thursday. I've got that far. It's the 16th of January. My gosh, this month's over halfway through now. Anyway, you can probably see behind me, Jasper's actually down there on the trampoline, jumping. It's raining. It's been raining pretty much non-stop since about Friday afternoon last week. I had dye pots out Friday morning. They were fine, but since then I have not been able to get anything done. I probably could have put something out today, early this morning. We've had intermittent bits of sunshine today, and I know in overcast weather it's okay, but the rain actually means the temperature has dropped a bit. And I just haven't got anything out. So it's going to be a small update this week, but at the same time, it's a very special update. So there'll be more about that at the end anyway. Week that was, I am a day late. I do apologise. I had meant to record yesterday, but I think we're still in school holidays and time just gets away from you. So Imogen had her wisdom teeth out last Friday. It all went really, really well. She was a bit tender for a couple of days and I had to, she wanted roasted pumpkin soup and she wanted lots of jelly and ice cream. The really funny thing was, originally she was going to go on apparently a juice detox. And when we got home on Friday, it was day surgery. She goes, "Oh, can you please go to the market? We've got Rusty's Market here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they have fresh fruit and veggies." And she says, "Can you go to Rusty's, please, and get me some veggies I can put through the juicer? I'm going to do detox." And I said, "Okay, if you're sure." So I left her here with Jasper and went down there and got beetroot and kale and apples and pineapples. So I thought, you need a bit of fruit as well, and carrots and all sorts of stuff like that to go through the juicer. And then she says, I get home and at 5 o'clock she goes, "Can you go to the shops and get me some jelly and ice cream?" I thought, yeah. She wouldn't have jelly and ice cream at day surgery. She was going to because, she wanted to watch what she was eating. I think typical 15-year-old body image / trying to be aware of what they're eating. But sometimes comfort wins over, especially when you've got a very sore mouth and a swollen face. So that was that. Did spend a lot of the weekend, though, with her trying to get her to eat properly and make sure she was on top of her pain. And I did assure her, have the pain medication they've given you. They gave her endone, which is, it's synthetic morphine, I suppose. I think that's what it is anyway, something like that. And I said, take them. If you're in pain at night to sleep, take one. So she has been taking, so I think she's stopped now. But I made sure she kept on top of the pain. That's one of the big things I remember. Her procedure went so much better than mine ever went 20 odd years ago, 25 years ago, however long ago it was. So yeah, then on Sunday we had Revelry Knitters, which was fantastic. Our Cairns Revellers, we got together. We get together usually on the first Sunday of the month, but the first Sunday of the month was too close to New Year's Day and people were working and people were doing all sorts of things, so we delayed it for a week, which was really nice to get together with people. This week, I'm trying to think what's happened. Bits and pieces have happened, and because it's school holidays and there's things to do, I still haven't gone and got the kids' book lists. I've got to go and do that sometime. Possibly tomorrow, though. I've got fibre crafters tomorrow. Yeah, always busy, always something happening, but at the same time, yeah. Anyway, Administratia. I don't think there's much news in Administratia. I'm trying to move things along. I haven't actually done show notes this week because I think I've got a bit to cover. I do want to cover, I've got my new t-shirt, my yarn t-shirt, and that is from Pop Culture, which is an Australian site, which I really like. I really like my yarn t-shirt. So yeah. Today I was in at a place called Homemade Cans, CANS, and that is where a whole lot of local crafts people have got together and in a shop and selling stuff. So I was in there having a look and I'm thinking of probably putting some yarn in there at some stage. Anyway, a couple of the people who have things in there do upcycled products, which I really like. And I got this because this is one of them. This is actually a spoon. And if you can see, there we go. There's some, I don't know if they're beads or buttons and things underneath there. Then there's a tree charm with a bird, and then it's been filled in with like a you know what I mean, a hard plasticky sort of stuff. So I really like that, so I've just got that on as well today. I'm trying to accessorise more. I've got some really funky necklaces and stuff that I just never ever put on. So, hey, why not? I think that's about it. I'm going to move into the knitting because I've actually got a bit to share with you. I have, the first thing I will share is my low tide cardigan. This is a Tin Can Knits pattern, and this was what I cast on New Year's Day. I am using Woolmise Pure in the Aquarius colourway. Now I am partway down the body. I'm just going to move you around because of the glare. There we go. And let me move myself around. That's a bit better. A bit less glare. Okay, sorry about that. Here is the cardigan. As you can see, you knit the lacy parts and then pick up stitches for lacy bodice, pick up stitches and then go down. Last week I can tell you about there. I think I was about an inch or two down. I'm 4.5, 5 inches down now. Or am I more? I can't remember. However long I'm down now. The thing I have done this week is completed the second sleeve. I had one sleeve completed last week. I now have 2 sleeves on there. I wanted to do them from my first skein of yarn. And also at Cairns Ravellers, that most magnificent Yulia who comes along, who is a crocheter extraordinaire, helped me with the button band. So it's a crocheted on button band. She's so much more nifty with a hook than I ever will be, so I'm just so glad she was able to help me out with this. So yeah, so the button band's done. All I really have to do now is knit down. I did discover that one of my sleeves, I had cast it off too tightly. I'd just done knit 2 together through the back loop. With the second sleeve, it's before I picked out the first sleeve, with the second sleeve I did knit 2 together through the back loop, knit 1, knit 2, knit those 2 together through the back loop, knit 1, knit 2 together through the back loop, which I call the Stephen West bind off because Stephen West uses it quite a bit. It's exceptionally stretchy. That sleeve was fine, so I then unpicked the second sleeve bind off and did that. Now the interesting thing was, of course, I had to join on yarn. I actually left over a foot of yarn, and I thought probably still won't be enough with that bind off. So I had that foot. I did one of the weavers knots, the magic knots, which I hadn't done before. The first one I did, and I thought, oh, this is quite good. And then I trimmed it. I trimmed it too tight and went tug again, and it came undone. So I did another one and didn't necessarily do it. Try to work out which sleeve it's on now. See if I can feel it. Is it there? Is that it there? No, it might actually be the other sleeve. Here we are. Here's me being uber prepared. Yep. Is that? No, that's actually the tail. Thinking that's it. There it is. I can see it. Because it's a rolled hem, it didn't worry me. There it is there. So I've gone from there around to there, which is actually over a third, I'd say, of the sleeve. That's how much extra stretchy the bind off is now. So yeah, so really pleased. I think I've got 11 or 12 inches now to go down, perhaps a foot of knitting. I did, once I finished the second sleeve and the band, I have that much left of my first skein. I also joined in the second skein and I am alternating. I have done an inch or two with the alternating now. I can't see very much at the moment, which is probably good. And then when this runs out, I'm just going to keep going with this. And probably until this runs out. I do have a third skein. I will see how long it is. Of course, I haven't blocked it at all. Didn't even do a gauge swatch, but I figured it's a sort of pattern. It does say in the instructions can be blocked as big or as small as you like. And if it does need a bit of a stretch, then I will probably wet block it. Otherwise, I'll pin it out and spray block it. We'll see how we go with it. Yeah. So that is the low tide cardigan. Now, if you remember back a couple of weeks, I talked about my knitting goals for the year. And I said one of the things I wanted to do was to I noticed this early on when I was picking up stitches there is about 2 inches worth there where I picked up an extra bit, and I know it's there, but I don't. At the time, I thought no one else had noticed. I just noticed it then again. If you're looking that close to my back and notice that, hey, I'm not planning on entering this into any competitions or anything. So that's just how that is. Anyway, I said in my goals I wanted to have 2 things off the needles before I put anything else on. Well, that lasted all of, 8, 9, 10 days. Because I said on last week on the Plurk. On the Plurk, I said that I would do Isolde's Follow Your Arrow KAL. Because Josh, who is sort of a knitter, put out a call on Plurk and said, okay, who else is doing it? Now, I actually bought the pattern earlier in December because I liked the look of it. It is a mystery knit-along, but the joy of it is that it's like a choose-your-own-adventure. And I used to love choose-your-own-adventure books, and I'd go back and reread them 4 or 5 times to see where you could go. And I'm sure you can probably get apps that do that now, and there's stuff on the internet. But this is a choose-your-own-adventure. In the end, there will be 32 different variations you can do. There are 5 weeks of clues, so how we're going to get 32 variations, I suppose, after this week, next week there will be 4, then the following week there will be 16, that's right, whatever it is, there's going to be 32 different variations. And I had some yarn in my stash, so I thought I want a stash dye for this. I did think of dyeing something up, then I thought you can use 1 or 2 colours. And I have this most gorgeous yarn. I don't know if you can see it there or there. I did put a photo up on Instagram of it. This was dyed for me as part of a swap in the Aussie Swappers group by May Anna 31. And I'm not sure what May Anna used, but it is just stunning. She used Bendigo Woolen Mills 4-ply, which is a 200 gram skein to begin with. And it's just gorgeous. It's called Blood Orange, and it's got flashes of that bright, reddy, purpley, orangey bits through there, and it's just really, really gorgeous. And I thought it would go well. Well, I think I've really lucked out with this, or lucked in, or done really well anyway. If you are still knitting and you don't want to sport, you might want to look away. But anyway, this is my first clue. I went with the second option. The first option is probably shaped like an arrow. The second option is more a pie increase, where you do circular increases. And Isolde did say that the first clue would determine the shape of the shawl. I was one of the first people apparently to cast on, because the clue came out about 8 o'clock our time, and I knit basically until I went to bed. I'd finished most of it. I think I had 3 or 4 rows left of the little lace panel bit down the bottom, and I was falling asleep, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I'll finish this tomorrow. So it wasn't, and that wasn't all that time knitting on this either. There was chatting and doing all sorts. So I think I probably cast on about 10 or 11. So 2 or 3 hours knitting for the first clue. Anyway, for me that was, and I'm probably I now say I'm probably a moderately fast knitter. So there is some stockinette, there is some garter stitch there, and down here with the beautiful arrowy part, I really like that. I think it looks like petals as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next clue is. Some people decided that once they got to the lacy part here, they were going to do that in stockinette, because they figured that's about where it was going to change. I trust Isolde, the designer, so that's what I have done. I'm really loving this, loving the way it is knitting up, and loving the way it is coming together. So I'll be interested to see what the options are for next week. Apparently, if you wanted to do the whole 32 scarves, you needed to cast on 16 of clue A and 16 of clue B last week. There's no way I'm doing that, but I'm glad that I'm now going to have this pattern, and if I want to do another shawl later on, I can do that, and I can chop and change, and it's really going to be the way that the mood takes me. I know some people are flipping coins and drawing numbers and doing random number generators as to number 1 or number 2, or A or B, but for me it was a clear thing. I wanted the semicircular shawl, especially in the single colour. If I had 2 colours, I definitely I think I would have gone the kite-shaped arrow shape, which is the other option. But hey, we'll see what happens with the next clue. I think both clues now have the same number of stitches on the needles and stitch markers in the same spot. same number of stitches apart. So it's going to be fascinating to see where it goes. It's a really ingenious thing to do. I've loved every Isolde pattern I've knit. I've done the Ishbel, I've done the mittens that I did just before Christmas, the little cardie, feather and fan cardie, can't remember what that's called now, but the Liesel, that's it. I've done the Liesel. So, yeah. Anyway, that is that. I've been working on, I found Imogen stripy socks, the watermelon socks. Yay! So I have been, they've been in my handbag. And I have a business card in there now with my name and phone number on it. So in case I do lose it and someone picks it up, they might be kind enough to ring me. You can hear the insects have just started up. It's that time of the evening. So I have been doing a bit of work on that. I had a meeting last night I went to, so I knit that and knit a few stripes. I knit a couple of stripes. So I was waiting for Mimble today. We had lunch together and he was seeing a patient and I just waited outside and did some knitting. And we went and had coffee and I sat there and did some knitting and they said, oh, you should sell those socks. I said, yeah, I would, but I really don't think people would pay a couple of $100 for them. She goes, no. So that's when he said to me, oh, you need a machine. And I said, you can actually get them. And he goes, oh, so he thinks that's a good idea. I really would love a sock cranking machine. If you could just crank out socks and then charge, say, $50, $60 for them. And people might pay that, you never know, for a pair of hand knit socks in stripes or whatever. So, hey. Anyway, that is that. I have a secret project on the needles, which I can't talk about. I am doing the Loopy U swap. And I have a swap partner who I believe has been catching up on some episodes of mine. And I don't want to spoil the surprise. But I will say that it's going to be exceptionally hard to part with this project. It's killing me not being able to Instagram it and to boast about how fantastic it is because I'm just in love. And it's almost at that stage. I actually, the yarn that I got, Loopy U is fantastic. And if anyone is looking for a store to buy, especially, I suppose, Madeline Tosh and a lot of indie dyers as well, they stock. If you go to the Loopy U, even with the Australian dollar going down and down and down, as much as it makes my yarn more desirable because it makes it cheaper for those overseas, it means that those yarns over there become more expensive for us over here in Australia. The Loopy U has a fantastic reward system. Last year I didn't quite make it to the level of rewards I would have needed to get a gift certificate. I needed to get to 250 points. I got to 235. So I got $23.50 and that was sitting there. And I looked at it and I thought, And I thought this base that I actually haven't tried before, I really, really loved. And I went looking through and I thought, oh, that's a nice colour, that's a nice colour, that's a nice colour. So there is one coming for me, which now that I've told you that, I probably won't be able to say what it is. I won't be able to show you for a while. That's okay. Because it's just amazing. It's phenomenal. So I will be, come, I think, end of February, seems a while away, I will be able to put some photos in and tell you about it. I mean, everyone probably knows. I'm probably one of the last people to the party knowing how good this particular yarn is. So that is that. So I've actually been working on quite a few things. I have mainly caught up on podcasts. So I've now got a few days worth to watch, which I will get through quite a few of those this evening. I have been catching up on some new podcasts. I have discovered, I did bring this out too, so just so that I could go through, I now have to have a pin code on my iPad, which does annoy me. I have discovered, oh wow, I've got more than that. There's some more that I've downloaded this afternoon. I've got 14 episodes now. I've got heaps to go through. That's fantastic. I'm now trying to find it. Here we are. Curious Handmade with Helen Stewart. Now, Curious Handmade, Handmade, not handmade as in handmaiden, but handmade as in what we do as we make things with our hands. Helen is an Australian who lives in London. Last year, first I heard of her, or first I put 2 and 2 together and got 4 instead of getting 27, was with the Curious Collective shawl. And each week last year there was a poll and you could vote what you wanted. So it was, do you want to have a lace weight, a fingering, a DK, a worsted weight shawl? And I'm pretty sure fingering won out. Do you want to have cabling or do you want to have lace? and I'm pretty sure cabling won out. Do you want one colour, two colour, three colours, etc.? And it became two colours. Then she put up some different options of colours that she had there. Which ones do you want? And there was a mauve and a purple that won out. And in the end, the Curious Collective shawl was born. And I've got that in my queue. I still haven't knit it. Actually, I don't know if it's in my queue. It's in my favourites. Whatever it is, I haven't knit it. You may remember from Knitty sometime last year, the afternoon tea shawl. And the thing I remember about that is it's a magnificent half circle purple shawl that's sitting on a table. That is a Helen Stewart design. Well, Helen has an audio podcast out, and I've listened to a couple of episodes now, and I really enjoy it. For a long time, I haven't really listened to a lot of audio podcasts. I found it difficult. I'm a visual learner, and I like seeing things. This week I've been listening to quite a few audio podcasts. I've gone back and caught up with Just One More Row, which I was really behind on, things like that, and I've really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's because I've been in a different frame of mind or what it is, but if you aren't used to listening to audio podcasts, it is something that I would recommend. So Curious Handmade is one of them out there. That is one I wanted to catch up on. Now, I can go into spinning. Because yes, last night I had all these projects I've been working on, and when the older one I'd finished on Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, whenever it was, and I thought I could do some more on my cardigan. Then I thought, I haven't spun in ages. Earlier in the week, I decided to bite the bullet and join in the Spin the Bin challenge from the Thingo board. They're completely twisted and arbitrary. They are having a Spin the Bin challenge. The idea behind it, the premise behind it, is you choose 12 different bumps of fibre that you want to spin this year. I have gone as, and if you take one of those out during the year, if you want to swap it out, you have to put two things in. I went through and I've probably got about, I don't have a huge fibre stash, says she, saying I've probably got about 20, 22 different bumps of fibre. And I went through and thought, which ones do I really want to use? And then I narrowed it down even further. And I thought, yes, I had 4 or 5 different bumps or different braids of fibre, and they were all the same fibre. And I thought, I need to broaden my horizons. I'm a new spinner. I started spinning May, June last year. So I really am a new spinner. And I thought what I need to do is pick out 12 different items, and from them then go on to spin those up and explore some different techniques. Now this is going to be, from now, I've got my spinning. So anyway, so last night I decided that I was going to spin. I hadn't spun in ages. I think the last spinning I did was probably October, November. And it felt like ages, and I know I really love spinning. I find it really, really therapeutic. And I was watching some YouTube podcasts last night, and I thought, I just want to sit there and spin. So I did. I got some Into the World out. This is, here it is. It's Corriedale. It's from the club. It is a 22-1B colourway. This is the second half here. I literally just tore them both in half. This one has much more purple than the first one did, so I'm not actually going to spin this. I'm not going to split this any further. I'm just spinning from the end. It's Corriedale, so it's quite a long staple length, and it's quite sticky. I did think I might try some long draw on it, and in the end just went, no, I don't want to learn anything new tonight. I just want to sit here and spin. So I did, with the intention of spinning thicker and trying to spin more consistent. I'm looking at getting probably a worsted to bulky weight. That's what I want. What I end up with, I don't know. This is the first bobbin here. I think I've done okay in there. I'm quite liking the look of it. Some of it, if I spin it around this way, you'll see I've got some curlicues in there. Little curly bits there. I think when it plies, I should be able to regulate it a bit more. So I will spin up the second one and just 2-ply these together. I did think originally with this fibre I was going to Navajo ply it, or chain ply it at least, but I think that would end up too thick. So that's what I'm doing with this. This is the first bit of fibre from my spin the bin. So that is number one. What I will do now is quickly show you what else is in my bin. I actually have a bin. This is one of my party drinks bins that I fill with ice and put drinks in when we have barbecues and parties. So we can't have any of those until after I've finished spinning the bin. So that one needs to go there because it's an acquisition. I have, so that's Corriedale. This is Polworth from Zarzuela's Craft in a nice green. Put these on my lap. I have BFL, 100% BFL from Spun Right Round. That was from my birthday last year. So that again is a different fibre. I have Rambouillet, which I've never spun, from Into the World. I have some more Corriedale. I just adore these colourways. This is from Yarn vs Zombies in the bushwalking colourway. So yeah, really love the colours. So that's why I've got 2 Corriedales in there. I have my Magic Bunny top, which is Merino, Angora, Cashmere and Glitz from Ixel. So that is something going to be totally different. I have my Merino Silk Milk Unicorn Farts, which I'm really excited to do. And I'd like to do these as part of Silly Fru's eye searing, because I think that's fairly eye searing, and also rainbows leading up to the Winter Olympics. Now get these out. I can put these ones back in. Okay, then I have my bat that I got at Bendigo from Nanny, Nanny's Burnished Bat, which I'm not sure how I'm going to spin that. Again, that will be something to practice long draw on. As you can see, I really want to learn long draw. I have the... I've got the DVD borrowed at the moment, and it's the... I can't remember her name, who does it. Anyway, it's about different types of draw. I have my bag of, I'm not sure if it's llama or alpaca, which Sharon gave me when she came over from the US, which needs to be washed and prepped. So I figured that would be something that I wanted to do this year. I actually have a huge bag of alpaca as well that I need to have a look at, which I'm thinking will be enough for me to spin up and probably knit a vest or a jumper out of. Not sure if I want a 100% alpaca vest or jumper though, that's the only other thing. Then I have my zombie bites from Yarn vs Zombies. I've included these as one, and I want to get the spindle out and do the spindling on these. I've never actually used the spindle, so that's going to be something new for me as well. So I have, what do I have? Alpaca, 100% alpaca, and that one I can't remember what it was, and this is the Merino Possum, which is just beautiful as well. So those 3 will be on, and I'm pretty sure there's a 4th one somewhere, but I can't remember what it was, and it will be up in one of my tubs up there. So if I find that, that will go into this lot as well. Now, going into acquisitions, I've got 2 that have come this week. The first one is my December Into the World shipment. If you haven't received your December Into the World shipment, you might want to look away. This is Portuguese Merino. It is stunning. It's called Dream Sequence. I haven't actually got it out of the bag yet. Try not to rustle too much. This is gorgeous. The colours in this, as you can see, are just magnificent. So there is that. That will be 1 month. Now, and of course there's other things going to be turning up. So that is going to be the bare minimum. My goal was to do 12 4-ounce braids this year. Hey, if I So I did the first 2 ounces of the Corriedale last night. If I can do, if I want to spin everything thick, I can probably get that all done in a month, because I'll just spin it all thick. But I don't want to do that. So that is that. The other thing that arrived, I kind of fell down New Year's Eve. I was looking at my knitting goals and working out what I wanted to do. Sorry, I'm trying to not rustle too much. I fell down. I fell down hard, but I had a goal in mind. Now this, you can see the sun behind me setting. I'm going to have to move this way now. Try not to get too glare. I'm trying not to move too quickly. Sorry about that. But I could just see the sun poking through the leaves there, and I thought it's going to come straight down, straight through there. I got some skein fibre. Now this, I don't know if I ever want to spin it. I think I just want to sleep on it. It is magnificent. It's merino silk, 50% merino, 50% silk in the Briar colourway. Approximately 4.4 ounces, 125 grams. I just adore skein. I really, really do. I just love Kristen's colour sense. It's just amazing. I am always blown away with everything I see from there. When I grow up, I want to be like her. Anyway, so that is this, and it is just beautiful. It's going to be a very, very special braid. I haven't spun anything with silk yet. So again, I've got the merino silk nook in there as well. That will be an interesting thing to do. So that is my 12 in the spin the bin. And they're the 12 things that I've said I'm going to spin before the end of the year. And if I don't spin them, I get to give them away. That was a big call to make. And originally I was thinking, nah. And then I thought, well, in some ways, it's a get out of jail free card if I don't say that I'm going to give them away if I don't spin them, because now I have an incentive to spin all this. Now, there are other things that I have there, and I was going, oh, I should put this in, I should put this in, I should put this in. And then I thought, no, I can't, because I have all these. So I still want to spin those things as well. It also showed me how much fibre I have, because I actually haven't put any fibre up on my stash on Ravelry. And I don't really need to be buying any more fibre. I am in the Into the World Club. And I think as long as I can keep on top of, as long as I can spin at least one a month, possibly 2 every 3 months, then I'm not going to be concerned. I'm not setting out to buy any new fibre, but then again, I'm not setting out not to buy anything. I was talking earlier on today. I caught up with Josh from Sort of a Knitter. We've got a bit of a collab we're doing at the moment with something, and we were just having a bit of a catch up. And I said, look, I've said I don't mind people saying they're on a yarn diet or they're cold sheeping or whatever they're doing. And I said, but I don't want to restrict myself. And I said that one thing that I thought, one way that I'm looking at it in my head is that I am probably not going to be going out to buy specific like sweater quantities of Cascade or Bendigo Woolen Mills or yarns that I would class as factory yarns. Now, I'm not saying they're bad yarns. I love Cascade. I love Bendigo. But at the same time, I have enough sweater quantities at the moment to not need to buy them. Now, there might be something that comes up that I need something special. I'm in the fortunate position that I can do that myself. I can dye stuff up. But that's just how I'm looking at it. I love looking at people's updates. I almost bought something yesterday, and then with the exchange rate, it came to $50 to send it to Australia for 1 skein of yarn. And I said, no, I just can't afford that. Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure where I was. I was talking about buying factory, what I class as factory yarns, and how I'm trying not to buy them. I'm trying to support indie dyers and things like that. Excuse me, I'm just recording at the moment. Sorry. And then I got this message that came up and said, your recording has stopped because you're out of memory. So I've just been through and deleted a whole lot of stuff that I had on there. Oops, my bad. So, and I'm not sure what I've just deleted, but I've got enough room to finish recording this podcast, and I do need to get an external drive and put things on there. And I know that. Anyway, So I was doing acquisitions. What else has turned up this week? Okay, thing I was talking about with spinning and spinning long draw, that's all because my latest edition of Ply has turned up, and it's all about woolen spinning, and it's got me intrigued and I want to do it, but I think I need visual video. This is me doing it. This is me doing it. This is how you're going to do it. I looked at a couple of YouTube videos. Abby Francamont. Abby Frank. That's the video. That's the DVD I've got. See, I remembered. Anyway, so that has turned up. I was also talking about skein, and then when I fell down. See, I'm kind of remembering this stuff, but I'm not really. Anyway, I ordered 3 skeins of the Slinky MCM base, which is a sport weight base, 365 yards in 110 grams. I got the Wintertide colourway. I got 3 skeins. It's difficult in this light because it's getting darker out here and I need to probably get going. But that is a greeny, bluey, it's my colours anyway. I really adore greeny blues, and that's what these 3 are. And I have a couple of things in my queue that take this amount of yarn. 2 things in particular, and it will depend what I feel like at the time as to what this happens. And Kristen, being the amazing person she is, sent me some stitch markers. There we go. That I think look like Olympic rings, which is pretty funky. So, finally, in my acquisitions, I got a whole lot of stitch markers from the amazing Sharon, who gave me the fibre when she was here. She said when we met up in Port Douglas, she says to me, I've made some stitch markers for you, but I think I left them at home. Then she messaged me the following day and she goes, I found them, they were in the bottom of my suitcase. So they're just amazing. So I've got a little American flag and I've got a cross and a whole lot of other ones which are definitely going to go into rotation. And now that I have shown them. So that is that. There was something else that turned up this week and I was just sitting down to record and I couldn't quite remember what it was. So, yeah. Hey. Now, I'm just looking around, double checking. That is about it with that. I think. Okay. I'm going to move on to shop stuff and it's probably not going to take so long. And it's shop/Ravelenics. So if you're into Ravelenics as well, you might want to stay on. Megan from Stockinette Zombies, did the Even Star in the last Olympic Games, did the whole thing. She put out a call and said she was going to do the Viagante or the Novum, which are both Martina Bem patterns, which take 300 grams or a whole skein of Woolmise lace. Now I have a whole skein of Woolmise lace already wound up, already ready for a Viagante that I almost cast on mid last year, that didn't in the end. So I said you might be able to twist my arm. Apparently my arm's been twisted. One of the things I've been trying to do this week is pick up my knitting pace. I have some things I really want to get finished before I do that. And it's not for any resolutions or any goals or anything. I want to get them finished because I want to get them finished. I'm not aiming to do a pair of stripy socks a month, but if I can get the watermelon socks off the needles before the end of the month, they can go in the watermelon, they can go in the stripy socks and the Stockinette Zombies for this month. And then I'll at least have 1 pair in there. Anyway, if you have been on Ravelry very much this week, you may have caught up in the brouhaha that has been in the Ravelenics group. Look, lots has happened, and basically the people who were moderating it have said a lot of them have a lot of stuff on and have said they can't do it. So there's been a new set of moderators picked, and I think part of it has stemmed behind what I was mentioning last week, talking about the civil right, the rights issues, human rights issues in Russia. And it was bugging me. And when I recorded last week, it was bugging me. And I thought, what can I do? And I thought I wanted to knit something in a rainbow colourway. That was one thing. And I've got something that I'm planning on doing, that I've been planning on doing for a long time. I've had the yarn for a long time, and I think it will come under one of my goals, which is to use Deep Stash. And I'm pretty sure it will come under Deep Stash sometime this year. But anyway, I want to do that sometime soon. Other thing I thought I can do is dye up some colourways. So I came up with what I'm calling the Winter Rainbow. And here it is. First one I will show you is this one. And this is on DK Weight. This is on the Zoya thick base, the DK version of the Barber Pauling yarn. And as you can see, I have reskeined this. It has sections of white interspersed with different rainbows. Now, instead of having a red, I've gone a more pink, with the orange having the more things. Now, I have literally got 3 primary colours and blended them 50-50. That's what I've done. I grabbed a pink, a blue and a yellow, and of course got my green, purple and orange from that. Got my secondary colours from that. So the purple is actually, you can sort of see it in there. Sometimes it's purpley, sometimes it's more an indigo colour. It depends which bit you've got. So I have these going up tomorrow morning in the shop update at 9:30. So there is that one. I have the other base is, sorry, I just had a message that popped up. I clicked on something. Anyway, the other base is the it's okay, it's Thursday evening and my head's just gone, I should have got my notes out. It's the EOS base, which is 100% BFL, 246 yards. And I'm pretty sure this is about 246, 250 yards as well. 100% BFL, not superwash, but I have it in that. And I think this would make a lovely cowl or a hat or a pair of mittens or whatever you want to do it in. It's really quite squishy, and I quite like it. I have it in, so I did it again, I put it down on the keyboard. I have the boulder base, which is the one with glitter in it, stellina in there. That will be going up. This is merino, nylon and stellina. So if you want to do a pair of socks, I will have one of these going up at a discount. The blue, actually, when I was dyeing it, when I was taking it out, I put it in like under bed tubs. And when I was taking it out, it tipped. And when I got out there, the blue, I hadn't mopped up, whatever had happened, dye error. On the other side, there is a patch of blue where it shouldn't be. Now, when you're knitting it up, you probably won't notice, but I know it's there, and it bothers me. So I thought I'll just put it in as, I didn't think of keeping it for myself, then I thought, no, I'll put it in as a discount in case anyone wants the discounted one. So there'll be one boulder on this, and there'll be one boulder discounted. There will be 2, I haven't got them here, 2 of the Apollo base, which is the BFL nylon, the basic sock yarn, 400 yards. I haven't got them here because I haven't reskeined them. I've had all this time to reskein, I just haven't done it. I have this one here, which is the sole base, which is 490 yards. If you wanted to do, I was thinking this would be stunning in a baby, something for a baby, because it is superwash. It is really soft. The thing that amazes me with this, you'd think it had cashmere in, but it doesn't. It's 100% merino, 3-ply merino, super, super, super duper soft. So there is that. So there are 2 of these. There's 2 of these, 2 of the Apollo, 2 of the Boulder, one of which will be discounted, and 1 of each of the DKs. I will, if you miss out and you really want one, we are predicting tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, to have some fine spots, so I will be able to dye them. And I'm planning on doing quite a bit of dyeing in that time. If I get these out by Monday, delivery to the US at the moment is anything from 10 to 14 days. So they should get there in time for the Ravel Annex if you want to knit something in a rainbow colour. And of course within Australia, deliveries anytime, anything from 5 to 7 days. It's just, don't get me started. Australia Post was brilliant in December. They got things out extra super duper quick, and I think now they're all just on holidays. I don't know what it is. I had something, my skein order was posted to me Monday or Tuesday last week. I didn't get it till yesterday afternoon. Wednesday, which, you know, I posted something to Japan on Wednesday last week, Tuesday, Wednesday last week, I got there yesterday. I just don't get it. I really don't. Anyway, it is what it is. It's the postal system I've got to deal with because it's the most economical way of getting things out. And hey, we'll see what happens. So this is the only colourway that's going up, the winter rainbow colourway. I'm really pleased with it. I've shown a couple of people and they just love it as well. So here we go. Here are 4 of them here. And it's, if you've seen my Midnight Mardi Gras, which is the black actually has less of the rainbow between it, more black things. This is probably more even with the distinctions between white and colours. And the way it knits up, it will have bits of pooling here and there, but it will be splattered around as well. So hey, just something that I did that I like doing. Hey, if you don't like it, that's fine. I figured that if I have, so the reason I dyed up multiples, I thought, was if I do have them left over, I could take them along to the zombie apocalypse. I have been I've been doing quite a bit of planning for that. I have a spreadsheet now set up, working out the bases. Because I wanted to start dyeing now, and I thought if I can actually mark down what I have dyed, because I'm going to put it away, I'll put it aside at least, then I'm not going to end up with all of one colour on fingering weight yarns and not on heavy yarns, or, you know, things like that. I will be, and I've got some things I want to mix in there as well. I want to have an area where I have like semi-solid skeins, and people can choose them out for mixing together and playing with colour. Anyway, things like that. Anyway, I'm rambling now, and I shouldn't be rambling, and I'm talking really quickly, so I apologise if you are watching this at 1.5 or double speed or whatever you watch your podcasts at. Anyway, I will get going. I've got kids that want dinner, so I think that's what that Mum was before. What's for dinner? Marinara. We're having marinara tonight with rice. Garlic marinara with rice. Anyway, until next week, I will say, cheers, bye.